Her species called it a shameful act, but I called it a life worth saving asterisk. The abandoned colony, the evacuation sirens wailed across the Kepler 442 mining colony as Dr. Nathan Cross checked his emergency supplies one final time. The human settlement had been under siege for 3 days, and now the evacuation order had come through. Everyone was supposed to be gone within the hour. Nathan hurried through the medical bay, securing sensitive equipment and grabbing essential medicines. At 35, he had spent the last 8 years as the colony's chief medical officer, treating everything from mining accidents to alien diseases. His weathered hands moved with practiced efficiency, even as explosions echoed in the distance. "Doc, we need to go now," shouted Lieutenant Torres from the doorway. "The transport leaves in 10 minutes. "Almost finished," Nathan called back, stuffing antibiotics into his field kit. Something made him pause. A faint sound drifted through the chaos, a weak cry for help, but not in any human language. He recognized Nathan activated his universal translator and listened carefully. The device crackled to life, converting the alien sounds into broken English. "Please, help, cannot move, Torres grabbed Nathan's arm. "Doc, whatever that is, it's not our problem. We have orders to evacuate all humans. The Zephyrian military will be here any minute." Nathan pulled free from the lieutenant's grip. "Someone's hurt. I took an oath to help anyone who needs medical care. The aliens started this war," Torres argued. "They attacked our mining operations first. Let them deal with their own wounded." But Nathan was already moving toward the sound, his translator guiding him through the smoke-filled corridors. The voice grew stronger as he approached the colony's eastern wing, where the alien workers used to live before the conflict began. In a small quarters unit, he found her. A Zephyrian female, her crystalline blue skin pale and her breathing labored. She was clearly pregnant, very pregnant, and in active labor. Her large silver eyes widened in fear when she saw him. "Human," she whispered through the translator. "You should not be here. Your people... they left me behind." Nathan knelt beside her, his medical training taking over. "What's your name?" "Zena," she replied, gripping his arm as another contraction hit. "The evacuation. They said humans. Only I worked in the kitchens. I have lived among your people for 2 years, but I am still alien to them." Nathan's scanner revealed complications. The baby was in distress, and Zena was losing blood. "How long have you been in labor?" "Since yesterday," she gasped. "The baby comes too early. In my species, premature birth often means death for both mother and child." The building shook as another explosion hit nearby. Nathan could hear the transport engines warming up in the distance. Soon he would be truly alone with this alien woman and her unborn child. "I am going to die here," Zena said quietly. "But please, if you can save my child." Nathan looked into her eyes and saw something that transcended species barriers, a mother's love and desperate hope. He made his decision. "I'm not going anywhere," he said firmly, opening his medical kit. "We're going to get through this together." Through the translator, he heard her whisper something in her native language. When he asked what she said, she replied, "I called you blessed. In my culture, one who risks everything for a stranger is touched by the divine." Nathan felt the weight of his choice as the transport engines grew louder, then gradually faded into the distance. He was now stranded on a planet about to be consumed by war, with only his medical skills and determination to save 2 lives that everyone else had written off as expendable. The first contraction of active labor hit Zena hard, and Nathan prepared for the most important delivery of his career. Against all odds, the colony's power grid flickered as Nathan worked by emergency lighting. Xena's labor was progressing rapidly, but her vital signs were concerning. Her crystalline skin had taken on an ashen hue, and her breathing was becoming more labored. "The baby's heart rate is dropping," Nathan said, checking his scanner. "I need to perform an emergency procedure, but I've never done this on a Zephyrian before." Xena nodded weakly. "Do what you must. I trust you." Trust. The word hit Nathan harder than he expected. Here was a member of the species, his own people, were at war with, placing her life and her child's life in his hands, without question. As he prepared his instruments, Nathan's device crackled to life. "Dr. Cross, this is Captain Rodriguez. What's your status?" "We're tracking your signal, but you missed the evacuation." Nathan hesitated before responding. "I'm assisting with a medical emergency, Captain. A difficult birth. Doctor, I need you to listen carefully. Zephyrian ground forces are advancing on your position. You have maybe 30 minutes before they reach the colony. Get to the emergency shelter and wait for extraction." Nathan looked at Xena, who was listening to every word through her translator. Her eyes filled with something between gratitude and sorrow. "Captain, I need at least an hour to complete this procedure safely." There was a long pause. "Doctor, are you telling me you're risking your life for an alien?" "They're the enemy, Nathan. They started this war by attacking our settlements." "She's not a soldier," Nathan replied. "She's a pregnant woman who needs help. I can't authorize a rescue mission for an alien, Doctor. If you stay, you're on your own." Nathan turned off the device and looked at Xena. "Did you hear that?" She nodded. "Your people will not forgive you for this choice." "Maybe not," Nathan said, adjusting his instruments. "But I'll forgive myself. Now, let's focus on bringing your baby into this world safely." The next hour was the most intense of Nathan's medical career. Zephyrian physiology was different enough from human to make every decision critical. Their blood was copper-based rather than iron-based. Their bone structure was more delicate, and their nervous system operated on different electrical frequencies. As Nathan worked, Xena told him about her life. She had come to the human colony as part of a cultural exchange program, working in the kitchens and learning human customs. She had fallen in love with the colony's peaceful atmosphere and had planned to apply for permanent residency. "The father?" Nathan asked gently as he monitored the baby's position. "A human engineer named David Kim," she said softly. "He was transferred to another colony 3 months ago. He does not know about the baby." Nathan felt a pang of understanding. The child would be half human, half Zephyrian, a hybrid that would be welcomed by neither species in the current climate of war. "Your baby will be beautiful," Nathan said, "and strong. Hybrid children often inherit the best traits of both parents." Xena smiled for the first time since he'd found her. "You really believe that?" "I've seen it before," Nathan lied gently. In truth, he had no data on human Zephyrian hybrids, but his instinct told him this child would be special. The building shook again, this time more violently. Through the small window, Nathan could see vehicles approaching in the distance, Zephyrian military transports. "They're coming," Xena whispered. Nathan's hands remained steady as he continued the procedure. "Then we'd better hurry." With careful precision, he guided the baby into position. The child was small, but appeared healthy, with the characteristic blue-tinted skin of Zephyrians, but softer features that suggested human heritage. "One more push," Nathan encouraged. Xena gathered her strength and pushed with everything she had. The baby emerged into Nathan's waiting hands, immediately letting out a strong cry that echoed through the abandoned colony. "It's a girl," Nathan announced, quickly cleaning and wrapping the infant. "She's perfect." As he placed the baby in Xena's arms, the building's main door exploded inward. Armed Zephyrian soldiers poured into the corridor, their weapons ready. Nathan and Xena looked at each other, knowing their brief moment of joy was about to be tested by the harsh realities of war. The Judgment Commander Crix stepped through the smoke, his dark blue uniform marking him as high-ranking Zephyrian military. His silver eyes swept the room, taking in the scene a human doctor, a Zephyrian female, and a newborn hybrid child. "Zena, of the Kitchen Guild," he said in accented English, his voice cold. "You were reported missing during the evacuation. We came to retrieve you." Nathan stepped protectively in front of Zena and her baby. She was in labor. She couldn't be moved safely. Commander Crix's gaze fixed on Nathan with obvious distaste. "And you are?" "Dr. Nathan Cross, Chief Medical Officer of this colony. I provided medical assistance to an enemy alien during wartime." Crix's hand moved to his weapon. "That could be considered treason by your own people." "Saving a life is never treason," Nathan replied firmly. 2 more soldiers entered the room, flanking their commander. One of them, a younger officer with lieutenant's markings, spoke in rapid Zephyrian. Nathan's translator caught fragments, something about contamination and shame. Commander Crix nodded grimly. "Lieutenant Voss reminds me of our laws regarding contaminated individuals. Zena, you lived among humans for 2 years. You carry their diseases, their customs, their influences." Zena clutched her baby tighter. "Commander, please. I followed all protocols. I was never contaminated." "The child proves otherwise," Crix said coldly. "Hybrid offspring are forbidden. They represent the corruption of our pure bloodlines." Nathan felt anger rising in his chest. "That baby is innocent. She's done nothing wrong." "She should not exist," Crix replied. "Our laws are clear. Contaminated individuals and their offspring cannot return to Zephyrian space." "What does that mean?" Nathan demanded. Lieutenant Voss answered in broken English. "It means death sentence for both mother and child." The room fell silent except for the baby's soft breathing. Nathan looked at Zena, who had gone pale. Her crystalline skin seemed to lose its natural luminescence. "There is another way," Commander Crix said slowly. "The human can take responsibility for the contaminated ones. But he would be considered a traitor to his own species and an enemy to ours." "I'll do it," Nathan said without hesitation. "Nathan, no," Zena whispered. "You don't understand what you're agreeing to." "I understand perfectly," Nathan replied. "I'm agreeing to protect you and your daughter, whatever the cost." Commander Crix studied Nathan with newfound interest. "You would sacrifice your own future for beings you barely know?" "I would sacrifice my future for any patient who needs help," Nathan said. "That's what being a doctor means." The commander exchanged glances with his lieutenant, then spoke in rapid Zephyrian. Nathan's translator struggled to keep up, but he caught the general meaning. They were debating whether to honor his offer or simply eliminate all 3 of them. Finally, Crix turned back to them. "Very well, Dr. Cross. We will record that you have claimed responsibility for the contaminated female and her hybrid offspring. You are hereby banished from human space and denied entry to Zephyrian space. You are, effectively, citizens of nowhere." "But alive," Nathan said. "For now." Crix gestured to his soldiers. "We will provide you with basic supplies and transportation to the neutral zone. After that, you are on your own." As the soldiers prepared to escort them out, Zena grabbed Nathan's hand. "Why?" she asked simply. Nathan looked down at the baby sleeping peacefully in her arms. The child had tiny fingers, delicate features, and skin that seemed to shimmer between human pink and Zephyrian blue. "Because someone has to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves," he said. "And because I think your daughter is going to change the world someday." Commander Crix overheard this and laughed bitterly. "Change the world? She's an abomination that belongs to neither species." Nathan met the commander's gaze steadily. Maybe that's exactly what this world needs, someone who belongs to both. As they were led from the abandoned colony toward an uncertain future, Nathan couldn't shake the feeling that this moment would be remembered as the beginning of something much larger than any of them could imagine. The neutral zone 3 months. Later, Nathan stood in the makeshift medical clinic he had built in Sanctuary, ramshackle settlement in the neutral zone between human and Zephyrian space. The place attracted refugees, outcasts, and anyone else who didn't fit neatly into either civilization. Xena sat nearby, nursing her daughter Luna, a name they had chosen together, meaning moon in human languages and bridge in Zephyrian. The baby had grown remarkably fast, showing signs of enhanced development that seemed to come from her hybrid nature. "Dr. Cross, we have another patient," called out Jessie, a former human smuggler who now served as Nathan's assistant. She led in a wounded Zephyrian merchant who had been attacked by Raiders. As Nathan treated the merchant's injuries, he noticed something interesting. The man's wounds were healing faster than normal when Nathan used a combination of human and Zephyrian medical techniques. It was as if the two approaches complemented each other perfectly. "Fascinating," Nathan murmured, documenting his observations. "What is it?" Xena asked, settling Luna in her crib. "I'm seeing better outcomes when I combine medical knowledge from both our species. Your people's understanding of energy healing, paired with human surgical precision, creates results neither could achieve alone." Word of Nathan's success spread quickly through the neutral zone. More patients arrived, daily, humans, Zephyrians, and even other alien species caught in the crossfire of the war. The clinic became a beacon of hope in an otherwise lawless region. One evening, as Nathan was reviewing patient files, Xena approached him with a serious expression. "I've been thinking about what you said to Commander Crix," she began. "About Luna changing the world." Nathan looked up from his work. "What about it?" "I've been watching her. She's not just developing faster than normal, she's different. Watch this." Xena held up a small light crystal, a common Zephyrian tool. When she brought it near Luna, the crystal began to glow brighter. "Human children can't interact with energy crystals," Nathan observed. "And Zephyrian children usually can't until they're much older." "She's bridging the gap," Xena said softly. "Just like your medical techniques." Before Nathan could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the settlement. Jessie burst into the clinic, her face pale with fear. "Doc, we've got company." "Big company." Joint Human Zephyrian Patrol Fleet just entered the system. Nathan's heart sank. Joint patrols were rare and usually meant serious trouble. Through the clinic's windows, he could see ships landing in the settlement's main plaza. "They're here for us," Xena said quietly, gathering Luna in her arms. Nathan nodded grimly. "Stay here. I'll handle this." Outside, a crowd had gathered around the landed ships. Nathan recognized the uniforms, both human and Zephyrian military, working together for the first time in months. At the center of the group stood a familiar figure, Captain Rodriguez, the officer who had abandoned Nathan at the colony. "Dr. Cross," Rodriguez called out as Nathan approached. "You're a hard man to find." "Captain," Nathan replied coolly. "What brings you to the neutral zone?" "Orders from the top," Rodriguez said, "both human and Zephyrian high command. They want to talk to you." A Zephyrian officer stepped forward. Nathan recognized her as Colonel Thyra, a decorated veteran he'd read about in military reports. "Dr. Cross," she said in perfect English, "your work here has attracted attention. Word of your medical innovations has reached both our governments." "I'm just treating patients," Nathan said carefully. "You're doing more than that," Rodriguez interjected. "Intelligence reports suggest you're achieving medical breakthroughs that could revolutionize healthcare for both species." Nathan felt a chill. "What do you want?" Colonel Thyra and Captain Rodriguez exchanged glances. We want to offer you a choice, Thyra said. Return to civilized space, share your knowledge with our respective governments, and help us end this war through medical cooperation. And if I refuse? Then you remain here, Rodriguez said. But your supplies will be cut off. No more medical equipment, no more medicines. Your clinic will fail, and the people who depend on you will suffer. Nathan looked back toward the clinic, where Xena waited with Luna. The choice was clear: cooperate with the governments that had abandoned them, or watch innocent people die for lack of medical care. I need time to consider this, Nathan said. You have 24 hours, Colonel Thyra replied. But Dr. Cross, consider this: your hybrid child could be the key to ending this war. She represents proof that our species can coexist, even thrive. Together, as the joint patrol prepared to leave, Nathan realized that their peaceful existence in the neutral zone was over. The outside world had found them, and soon they would have to choose between hiding in the shadows or stepping into the light to change the galaxy forever. Luna's soft cry from the clinic reminded him that whatever choice he made, it would determine not just their future, but the future of every hybrid child who might come after her. The new Dawn Nathan stood before the joint council of human and Zephyrian representatives, Luna sleeping peacefully in Xena's arms beside him. A massive space station orbiting the neutral zone had been hastily constructed for this historic meeting, the first time both species had come together for peaceful negotiations since the war began. Dr. Cross, began Ambassador Chun, the human representative. Your medical innovations have saved lives on both sides of this conflict. More importantly, your daughter represents something we never thought possible: proof that our species can create new life together. Colonel Thyra nodded. In agreement. The hybrid child shows enhanced abilities that neither species possesses alone. Our scientists believe she may be the first of a new evolutionary step. Nathan remained silent, studying the faces around the table. Politicians and military leaders, who had spent months trying to destroy each other, now spoke of cooperation and shared futures. What exactly are you proposing? He asked finally. Ambassador Chun leaned forward. A joint medical research initiative. Your techniques, our resources. Together, we could develop treatments that benefit both species. And Luna? Xena asked, speaking for the first time. She would be the first citizen of the new alliance, Colonel Thyra replied. A symbol of what we can achieve together, rather than what we destroy apart. Nathan looked at Xena, then down at Luna. The baby's eyes were open, seeming to watch the proceedings with unusual intelligence for one so young. Her skin shimmered with the characteristic patterns of both species human. Flexibility and Zephyrian energy sensitivity combined in perfect harmony. There's something you should know, Nathan said slowly. Luna isn't just a symbol. She's already changing things in ways you can't imagine. He gestured to Xena, who carefully placed her hand on a Zephyrian energy crystal. The crystal glowed, softly as expected. Then she guided Luna's tiny hand to touch it as well. The crystal blazed with brilliant light, brighter than anyone had ever seen. She can amplify energy in ways that shouldn't be possible, Nathan explained. And it's not just energy crystals. She responds to human technology too, enhancing its efficiency. The council members exchanged amazed glances. This was beyond their wildest hopes. Dr. Cross, Ambassador Chun said carefully, what would you? Need to continue your research? Freedom, Nathan replied immediately. Freedom to treat anyone who needs help, regardless of species. Freedom to raise Luna without her being treated as a political tool. And freedom to train others in these techniques, so they can spread throughout the galaxy. Colonel Thyra considered this. In exchange for exclusive access to your research. In exchange for ending this war, Nathan corrected. The knowledge belongs to everyone, not just to governments. The negotiations continued for hours, but Nathan could see the tide turning. The potential benefits of cooperation far outweighed the costs of continued conflict. Luna's existence had changed the entire equation. Finally, Ambassador Chun stood. Dr. Cross, on behalf of the Human Colonial Authority, I formally request that you serve as Chief Medical Officer for the new Joint Medical Initiative. Colonel Thyra rose as well. And on behalf of the Zephyrian Empire, I extend the same invitation. Together, we can build a future where children like Luna are celebrated, not feared. Nathan looked at Xena, who smiled and nodded. We accept, he said, but with conditions. The research must be shared freely. No weapons development. And any other hybrid children who exist or are born in the future must be protected and valued. Agreed. Both representatives said simultaneously. 6 months later, Nathan walked through the corridors of the new Horizon Medical Center, the first truly integrated facility in the galaxy. Human and Zephyrian doctors worked side by side, sharing knowledge and techniques that had revolutionized medicine for both species. In the pediatric wing, Luna played with other children, some human, some Zephyrian, and a few other hybrids who had emerged from hiding once it became safe. She was walking now, her hybrid physiology allowing her to develop faster than pure-blood children of either species. Dr. Cross called out Dr. Kieran, a Zephyrian colleague who had become one of Nathan's closest friends. The latest test results are remarkable. The new healing techniques have improved success rates by 40% across all species. Nathan smiled, watching Luna stack blocks with unconscious precision that seemed to defy physics. She's showing us the way forward, he said. All of them are. Xena joined him, now serving as head of the Interspecies Cultural Exchange Program. The war officially ended this morning, she reported. Both governments signed the permanent peace treaty. Nathan pulled her close, watching their daughter play with children who represented a future neither species could have achieved alone. What did you name her in your language? He asked. Her full name? Luna Kethvena, Xena replied. It means the bridge between worlds who brings new light. Perfect, Nathan said, then paused. You know, I never told you why I really stayed behind that day at the colony. Xena looked at him curiously. You said it was your duty as a doctor. That was part of it, Nathan admitted. But the real reason was that I heard something in your voice when you called for help. Something that went beyond species, beyond politics, beyond everything that was supposed to divide us. I heard another person who needed help, and I couldn't walk away from that. And now? Nathan watched Luna toddle over to a group of children who were arguing over a toy. Without hesitation, she found another identical toy and gave it to the upset child, solving the conflict with simple kindness. Now I think we're all learning that the things that unite us are far stronger than the things that divide us, he said. And that sometimes the most shameful act, according to one set of rules, is actually the most important thing you can do. As if sensing their conversation, Luna looked up and waved at her parents with a smile that seemed to light up the entire room. In that moment, Nathan knew that every risk, every sacrifice, and every difficult choice had been worth it. The galaxy was changing, one small act of compassion at a time. The end